Did you know that being a content creator is the most sought out career that the young generation want right now? And that's kind of dangerous when you have so many people wanting something that they don't really understand. You see, I was really sold the narrative that making content is gonna really just fix all of my problems and fix my life. I'm gonna get this YouTube channel, build my community, make money on my laptop, go wherever I want, make these really fulfilling videos, build that strong community. But things don't really turn out as easy as that. A lot of people quit along the way. I've seen so many channels recently just start in the self-improvement niche and then they're gone. They're gone in 6 months. They're not even here anymore. And that is because the reality of making videos is not as glamorous as everyone else makes it seem. I'm not gonna lie, making videos, it can be really demoralizing, and I think this just goes in business. When you put so much effort and time into a piece of content, into a piece of work, and for it to perform miserably, it can hit you. And there is a level of persistence that is required to make this work. Also, it can really feel like a really lonely profession. You're just in your room grinding. And everyone's saying, oh, you gotta hustle, you gotta grind. Yes, you do. You do need to hustle. You do need to grind. But like everything, there's a balance. And content creation can really lead to an unhealthy balance, in my opinion, where I spent my entire gap year doing this, and of course I really enjoy it, I do, but if it's the only thing you're doing, I do think you get kind of a warped perception of the real world, because you're living through this. You're waking up, you record, you edit, you record again, you edit, you publish, and you really get put in this cycle. And because you're not a fully established creator yet, a lot of things are still in limbo. Solidifying your core audience is still in limbo. Growing your income exponentially is still in limbo. You haven't quite got there yet. You're on your way, but you do go through periods where you're pumping out content and it's just not going anywhere, and you do question yourself. I'd be lying if I said I haven't had doubts over this channel. Of course I have, right? And you sit there and you're like, is this really gonna work? Like, am I really gonna be able to do this? I think a really high level of persistence is required, and I think it's better if you don't blow up initially, because if you go through periods where you're not getting the growth you want, but you stay consistent, you stay on it, and you keep going, when you do eventually get the growth that you want, you're prepared for it and you're more motivated and disciplined than ever before to continue to really use and exploit that growth so you can turn this into what you want. And also another thing I want to touch on is blowing up for the wrong things. And I almost did this, right? If you know my channel, you would know that I made an impression of Hamza, right? And if I kept making impressions, right, of other people, I would just become the impression guy. I would just become the parody guy, alright? And I'd only get views when I would do that. That's why I purposely stopped doing that, right? And it's dangerous, because then you end up creating a brand that you don't even want to do. So at the same time of being a smaller creator, you're constantly going through the rationale of, I want to go viral, I want to blow up, but I also want to blow up for the right things. And you're really, like, I'm quite afraid of blowing up for the thing that I don't want to blow up for, and then I'm stuck doing that. And this has happened before to so many creators. So many people have blown up, like for example, a lot of study channels blow up really fast for all these revision tips, for all these study tips, and then eventually they get sick of giving you study tips. They get sick of telling you how to be productive because it is a bit boring. And now they can't make anything else because all of their audience are nerds who just study. I don't want that, right? I don't think you want that. Most of you probably don't want that. So it's about sticking true to the content that you really want to be known for and that aligns with you, and sticking it through until you do make it. And I think if you do that, you end up with a platform that really does fulfill you, gives you the time, gives you the money. Don't get me wrong, there are phases where you go through burnout. You really question yourself, is this actually going to work? Because everyone makes it sound like it's so flippin' easy, right? And it's not. But I think eventually, once you do pull it off, the satisfaction that you will feel from that will be immense. But just be aware that people do glamorize this online. They do make it sound like it's the best thing on the planet. It can be if you do it in the right way, but I would also understand what this is really like. I think this is just a rule for anything. Just don't judge a book by its cover. Take everything you hear with a pinch of salt. Don't brainwash yourself to people's way of thinking, okay? Come to your own conclusions. Take the good bits, ignore the bad bits, right? And you have to judge that for yourself, okay? So out of this video, take the good bits. If there are some bad bits that you don't think is helpful, fine, discard it, bro. Think for yourself, yeah? Don't be a muppet. Oh my days.